welcome to We're Not Wizards. We are the best, but not wizards. Enjoy the show!
Wondrous Creatures, Vantage, and Big Box Storage Solutions. This is We're Not Wizards with Luke and Richard. Ridiculous. Taking at that, I was reminded of an old joke from Not the 9 o'clock news where there's literally, it just cuts obviously into the middle of something. Rowan Atkinson sitting in a suit, and there's the others. There's like Mel Smith and Chris Reeves-Jones and I think Pamela Stevenson. And there's another one. You're going to sit around. And Rowan Atkinson just looks up at everybody. He goes, "I'm bent and I'm yours for 13p. And then there's like 10-second silence. And then you see Mel Smith or Chris Reeves-Jones coming to a dawning realisation. He goes, "You're a banana!" And he goes, "Yes, I am. Your turn." And it's just one of those amazing bits of comedy where it's like caught like halfway, and it just kind of makes it. It just kind of made my day, and I just don't know why I remembered that. Anyway, I was. I
never watched a lot of Not the 9 o'clock news. I had definitely seen bits of it, but it was one of those ones. It was a little bit before my time, and I kind of caught the stuff they all did afterwards.
I think it's typical. It's like unlike
Billy Connolly's wife was on there.
Pamela Stevenson. But I think
Stevenson, yes.
I think it was just before. You're right. Just before, like you got a last Smith and Jones, and then obviously
Smith and Jones, Blackadder,
even the young
things,
ones to some degree. I think there was a connection between them. Ben Elton went on to get involved in kind of like Blackadder and the young ones and kind of everything like that. Yeah. So anyway,
he saved Blackadder.
Yes, he did, because it's really funny how. It's really funny how nobody talks about the first series of Blackadder anymore. When they talk about Blackadder Goes Forth as obviously the pinnacle, and everyone talks about that last scene, the First World War.
Beautiful. Iconic.
You'll continually see clips about, you'll continually see clips Blackadder 2 Lord Flashheart. You'll even see the kind of you'll see Hugh Laurie. When he was, when he was just being brilliantly Hugh Laurie. But Blackadder itself disappeared. I don't see many people even talk. I've never seen Blackadder. I've seen Blackadder Goes 2. I can't even talk about the number of times I've seen that.
You've not seen the first series, Blackadder?
Yeah.
The Blackadder?
Yeah. I've never seen it. I don't know if have you seen it?
You've never seen it?
I've never seen it. I've only seen Blackadder.
Oh, I have. Yeah. Well, I mean, I used to have the complete Blackadder collection on DVD or whatever as well.
So it's just one of these things.
Which might be when I first saw it. I'm not entirely sure. Might be when I first saw it.
All right. Okay.
It's fucking awful, though. Because one of the things they changed was, in the first series, Blackadder's the idiot. And Baldric's the clever one. He's the one who comes up with all the scheming and everything like that. So then they switched it. They're the same people. It's still Rowan Atkinson, and it's still
I know, Tony.
His name's escaped me, Tony Robertson. And they're still called the same names, but they switched the ethos between the two.
Yeah, no, and I remember seeing one episode.
Changed the game.
I do remember seeing one episode and not being aware of that dynamic and going, "This is awful. This is not."
Yeah, Blackadder's he's a really pathetic, snivelling, just ridiculously awful character. Not the arrogant, brash, charismatic, guy that Blackadder becomes from 2, 3, and 4.
So anyway, that was reminded of that. I was reminded of that joke today. I don't know why I was reminded of that joke. I've no way of segueing this apart from saying I had the absolute delight of babysitting this afternoon. And what I mean by that is I wasn't looking after my own kids, because I'm sure you have been put in the situation where you say, I'm just going out with the kids this afternoon. Oh, babysitting, are we? It's like, no, they're my own kids. It's called...
Yeah, I'm sure I have had that. I don't think I've had it as much as I have with some... I've heard some people who've had that.
It's just like, no, it's not babysitting. Anyway, long story short, I become known as the kind of the funkle.
Nice.
As in the boy that always turns up with like
does that mean you become a small statue with a really big head and dark black eyes?
Much. I mean, look at these eyes. Look at these eyes. I mean, you'd be
they're dead inside.
There's nothing. There's no incorrect statements have just been made about that. I don't know. It's not that. It's like my Facebook picture, my profile picture of me with the Minecraft.
Yeah.
That was for one of their birthdays. I kind of decided to spend an afternoon kind of like they were having a Minecraft party. I decided to like turn up as Steve, Anyway, so my brother's away out with his wife, much due kind of couple of hours away, so they could go away and have lunch. And I had the joy of playing a couple of games with them. The first one was Splash, Don't Get Wet, which is a game that I've had for years, and it's one of these games you have it's a small tin game, and
right.
You have like a group of you have about 6 different coloured meeples. There's 3 of each meeples. They sit within the tin. Has got it's meant to look like a swimming pool with a little kind of rim round it where the meeples sit, and then in the middle there's like a place that's like meant to be the swimming pool where the meeples can get pushed in. And quite simply, you get given a disc which tells you the colour meeple that you are, and you're meant to try and make sure that your meeple doesn't end up in the pool, or your set of meeples don't end up in the pool. And what you do is, to play the game, you pick up one of the coloured meeples. You look at the number that's on the base of the meeple. That'll tell you how many spaces you move around the pool. You move that number of spaces. If there's a meeple where you land, you basically hit that meeple and it falls into the pool. And that's the game.
Right.
And it's part of, and then secondly we played Escape from Atlantis. And it
oh, nice. How old are your nephews?
9 and 5. So they're young.
Played Escape from Atlantis with a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that go?
This is what I like about board games, is that traditional children's board games are all about being happy and clappy and lovely and wonderful to each other. And Escape from Atlantis, every single time I've played it with a young kid, it's always started off with everybody being very, very polite for about 2 or 3 rounds. And then on the 3rd round, people have the dawning realisation that actually they can and will basically take a sea monster, move it a space, and basically obliterate a boat full of 3 people. And pretty soon they realise that they can be absolutely horrible to each other. And that is part of the game. You do not get told off for being mean. But as usual, because in my experience, because I'm usually the oldest playing, the idea is they obviously gang up on me. So I end up getting decimated. Every single game of Escape from Atlantis is ended up with me.
Too much hilarity
decimated.
of them, no doubt.
And it's the same with Splash Don't Get Wet, as they realise that they could gang up on Uncle Richard, and he can't do anything about it because he's not their mum and dad. So I got absolutely obliterated at Escape from Atlantis. It was quite funny. It was the thing that it wasn't that, it was the fact they were taking away bits of island. because you try to get your meeples off this island, but the island itself is shrinking, and you remove pieces of the island, and you've on the reverse side of the island is what kind of animal you're either putting, a shark or a whale, or you're putting a raft down, or you're getting kind of something that's going to help you kind of fight off a shark or whatever, or anything like that. But if there is a meeple underneath, if you're a meeple in the island, you take it away, that meeple ends up in the water, and if there's a shark there. So the number of times, I must admit, I got like looked at across the table, and I go, oh, I'm really sorry I have to do this, and then flipping over the island piece that my people were on as I end up in the water. And I don't know if the Jaws theme tune has become so embedded in society. These kids knew the Jaws theme tune, so when the shark was moving around the board, they were like going doo-doo, doo-doo. And I don't know if that's just... I mean...
Is that how iconic it is?
I wonder, is it... I mean...
Because they surely haven't seen it.
Obviously, they've not seen it, but I think it's kind of so synonymous with, like... I mean, there's probably a book out there that, like... And what noise does a duck make? The duck goes quack. You know, they're teaching preschoolers. And what noise does the shark make? The shark goes... doo-doo, no-no. Like that. And so, all in all, it's a wonderful time, because I think I just love the kind of the interactivity. So it was a lot of fun. I had a really, really good I had a really, really good time. And my eldest nephew kind of declared, oh, that was an amazing time. I had the best time. Thank you very much. And you know, so I've set myself a bar. I don't know how I'm going to, but the best thing about it, as you know, is as they get older, you can just bring in the more complicated games. It's like, I know we've played Escape from Atlantis, but like, you know, how about a bit of Hero Quest? How about a bit of Space Crusade? You know. How about a bit of Merv or Sankore? Have you ever heard of the wine growing steps of Lisboa? You can get them right. You get them right into it, and the main thing is, I'm not sitting around saying, "Here."
Have you ever considered terraforming Mars?
I mean, ironically, it was made by Stronghold Games, the copy that I've got.
It's the one I've got.
So the
yeah.
quality of the components is right up there with terraforming Mars, as in it's terrible. I mean, they're literally the back of, like, you know, when you build the island up, like, they could have even pretended that they'd had beaches on the tiles, but no, they don't do that. They've just literally taken flipping something from kind of Microsoft Paint that represents sand and printed it across 15 tiles.
I remember when that came out, Bonacore was waxing lyrical about the quality of his version of Escape from Atlantis. It really... The more you look at it, the more you think, it's not so great. It's not. Especially because, and I don't know if you've ever seen the original Escape from Atlantis, which was the fully functional plastic behemoth, where they actually had proper plastic sand tiles, bigger green tiles, and then the mountain tiles, they were huge. They were a good couple inches. I mean, they were absolutely fantastic, and even all the creatures. Yes, while they were plastic, they were some pretty decent kind of sculpts kind of going. So yeah, and then you get this kind of clip art monstrosity, which I'm glad. But anyway, absolutely fantastic time. You could say, I mean, the two of them, they're a couple of wondrous creatures. And speaking of wondrous creatures... What about it?
Did you want to tell us about it? I mean, I think that's...
Yes.
I was trying to segue into here, and you just like, would you...
Oh, is that what you were trying to do? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Right, that went right over my head. No, I fully understood it, and I decided to be absolutely
absolutely so bloody difficult. I'm just like, why?
So... Yeah, I haven't had a lot of chance to game just because we've had a lot of group on holiday, people parenting, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a lot of that lately. So when I say that, I mean my regular group, that the four of us that are playing like Iridia and stuff like that. So yeah, we haven't been playing our regular Wednesday game night, but then I, chucked a message out there and said, anyone fancy a game for the rest of this week? And two of them could, which was nice. So popped over to Steve's for a game, and it was just me and a Steve, and I took some options. There was a few that I had on the cards, and it was actually a bit of a last minute one. There was a few that I was kind of, I'd quite like to play. One of them was Bloody Inn. I've had Bloody Inn for absolutely bloody ages.
Yeah.
And I thought, that might be quite a nice one to play. And then I was also going to take, is it Planet Unknown?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Planet Unknown. The Lazy Susan?
Yeah. I know that one.
Because I really like that game. I think it's such a cracking game. So I was going to take that. Well, I did take it. But then at the last minute, or just before I was sort of going to leave, I suddenly thought, oh no, I've got to take Wondrous Creatures, because I had played it at a convention. And then instantly bought it at the convention because I really loved it, and I certainly very much enjoyed that game of it, and then hadn't proceeded to play it once I got home. And I thought, actually, I think so I watched a quick refresher just to get the rules right in my head. And yes, we played Wondrous Creatures, which have you played Wondrous Creatures?
I have not played
Are you aware?
Wondrous Creatures.
Are you fully aware of Wondrous Creatures?
I'm aware of Wondrous Creatures. I'm aware of people going, this is a cracking game. But apart from that, I've not really looked at it. So
it's by, I think I'm pretty sure it's by Bad Comet. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that.
Check.
And you are a captain of this kind of set of, I'm not sure the theme. I think you're capturing creatures, maybe. I'm not sure. Learning about them, I think. But you've got this island in front of you with hexes that are either like sort of plains or the mountains or lakes or these sort of various resources. And this is a worker placement game, but the difference that kind of sets it apart from a worker placement game is that your worker placement is placing out onto the board, but all your workers are these kind of odd looking creatures, but they're long enough that they have to go over 2 hexes, right? So when you put a thing down, then you put your worker down, and then you've obviously got all the adjacent hexes around it. And then, so you've got various biomes, which is usually indicated by the sort of food which that biome would provide. So it's like fruit or mushrooms or flowers or coral is the kind of one. So then what you could do is you've got your little player board in front of you, which tracks your resources, which is those 4 food sources. And say when you place your person down, say you're next to or adjacent to 2 fruit biomes, a coral one, and let's say a flower one. Highly unlikely that you'd have all that, but let's say that's what it is. What you could then do is you could then decide, right, okay, so you could add those biomes to your track of resources. So you could put up 2 fruit, 1 coral, 1 flower. Or you can go to the wilderness, which is essentially just like a track of cards of various, all these weird and wonderful, wondrous creatures, like a classic market, available to you. And the ones that suit said biome, you can pick them up. So then, all of these creatures then have various abilities which you're going to use the said resources that you collect to pay to put them down into what's called your reserve, which is essentially put down in front of you. Now you've got the sort of classic thing of you've got instant creatures which go down in front of you, do a thing, and then basically you use them maybe for tracking certain aspects of them later, but they're not going to fundamentally do anything after that. Then you got ones that have like an ongoing, like a whenever you do a blah, whenever you draw a card, blah, whenever you discard a card, blah, get a thing. Then you've got end of game scoring, etc. And then you have ones which have what's called energy. So the actions you actually have in your turn is you either place a worker down, you either do an achievement, what's the other one you can do? There's another one you can do. What is it? I can't think what it is. Or you can recharge your workers, which is sort of refreshing your workers. Once you've placed out all 3 of your workers, then at some point you could... Oh, play cards. Play cards is the other thing you can do, which is, again, use your resources to play your cards down. So you just keep going round and doing that and all that. There's various things like eggs. So if you place your person on an egg, you get to pick up the egg. And the eggs are one of the various 7... I think it's 7 types of creatures. So you got like mammals, crustaceans, insects, dragons, birds, something else, lizards, and something else. Insects, probably insects. And they're all kind of like, they're somewhere between Harry Potter creatures and Pokemon.
Oh, right.
They're like a sort of weird blend of that.
Yeah.
You know, and so the aim of the game is to essentially just get the most points, and you do that via a whole bunch of ways that you get points during the game. And then, like I said, you've got end of game scoring. And at the start, you set up a bunch of achievements. So it might be you'll have 2 achievements that have a combination of 2 of the species, another one that has a combination of 2 of the species, one that has just 2 of them that have just 1 species each. And you'll set them up in a way that you won't have crossover. So you won't have a monkey single one, a mammal single one on its own, and then have it in one of the joint ones. Then you have have X amount of the same biome, or have X amount of the same species, blah, blah. So there's a whole bunch of sort of achievement things. And like I said, one of the things you could do is you could score an achievement. So, like, for instance, one of ours was combined dragons and lizards, right? And it'll have tiers on it. So it'll have like 8, 6, and 4, something like that. So when you go to score an achievement, you could either go early, grab the achievement, which will be less points, because you've only got 4, or you could wait and get more points. But wait to get more of those creatures and stuff. But you get one of in a 3-player game, you get one of the 14 trophies that are available, and the trophies are the timer. Once the last trophy's taken, everybody else gets a turn. Boom, done. So trophies are also worth a few victory points themselves. So there's kind of reasons why you would want to maybe get, but one of the other things you get is you have a captain. And a captain is just essentially a worker of yours who has actually a cool little wooden meeple who magnetically sits on the back of one of your creatures.
I saw that in your images. I thought that was kind of pretty.
Very nice little touch. If it's got magnets, it's instantly better than any other game that doesn't have magnets. It's as simple as that.
It's a fact.
It is just it's a fundamental fact.
Yeah.
You know, I'll fight people on that.
And I'd back you up.
Most people would. I'd have a lot of people more behind me than I would in front of me.
I think
so. So I can't even remember what my point was. So yes,
captains.
Your captain has an ability.
Magnets.
So, like, for instance, my captain's ability was when you place your captain out of space, I instantly get one of the resources, or a resource that I have the least amount of. So just a nice little freebie. Nothing particularly special, but it's handy. Yeah. But you can't do that until you've got your first trophy. So, like, I very quickly went for a trophy, but once obviously it was the dragon and lizard one, I managed to get 4 dragons and lizards, and you could do that via eggs and creatures. So I got that. And then I can never get that one again. So I can't then, when I get to 6, do another achievement of it. Or then when I get to 8, I'm done on that one. So it's kind of like, I was just like, well, I'm going to try and get the most out of my captain's ability. So I'll get it now and I'll work on the others and just leave that one be,
Do you move about the board?
So yeah,
then?
I mean,
is it worker?
The board is
placement?
a worker place. The boards are worker placement spots.
Right. Okay.
So if you imagine, say it's like a game where you're running a factory, or like Energy Empire or something like that. You've got all the worker placement spots for the buying of the market and stuff. The worker placement spots on this really are like collecting the resources or going to the biomes that will have the creatures in the wilderness that are in the marketplace kind of thing. So you're blocking off those spots, and until you recall your workers, nobody else can get in that spot, and then certain spots, as the game develops, you'll unlock new biomes and put them over lake spots, which you can't usually get. So you'll then a new fruit resource might come up, or a new mushroom one or whatever. So the board gets juicier, and you get more for it. But obviously you'll start to be like, I don't want to put something there because I know Steve's going to straight away go on for that, and but there'll be certain spots that certainly become more, because it might have 4 things that you can get. Usually you get 3 things, but the way it's all laid out and configured. But once you get one that's got 4 things available, suddenly that's like quite a lot,
Is the board configurable? Because is it a case that
it's a set board
then? Is there then
the board will slightly evolve, but the base set, the standard board will always start the same.
All right.
Well, it's not entirely true. Right. The hexes are what they are, but then you have, on lots of the hexes, you have either a V, a circle, a square, triangle, or whatever. You have a bunch of little basic symbols. And at the beginning, you put a whole load of these eggs in a bag, and you turn over little time tokens, there's a time tracker thing, which kind of just keeps refreshing the eggs and stuff like that. When you turn over that time token, it will show one of those symbols, and that's when you refresh those eggs.
All right.
And that happens, the timer moves on. Although it is a time track, ironically, it actually has nothing to do with the time of the game, because you could get to the end of the time track and the game doesn't finish. It's all to do with the trophies. Okay. So it's kind of weird that they called it the time track. But you also don't likely get to the end of it. You think you will. Like, for instance, one of the things that sort of surprised me was I actually, and I think all of us, only recalled our workers 3 times in the entire game each.
That's very...
Now, on the basis you only have 3 workers...
That's really weird. That's extraordinary.
But it is really extraordinary. But you do so much because, like I said, in your turn, you either place a worker, play cards, do an achievement, or recall your workers, or recharge as it's called. So you're sort of engine building as well, because you've got these ongoing cards and these things that are doing things at the same time. But it's amazing how much it seems to pack in to so few actions, because on the basis that in a worker placement sense, I only probably did 10 or 11. Like, I did at least 9, but probably did 1 or 2 more. That's crazy. The only drawback I would say for the game is it definitely is too long. It's not too long. It's a great game and I really like it, but it is longer. I probably would only ever play it with 3. I think with 4, that would go on some, to be fair. I mean, that was with me teaching the boys, which was a pretty relatively quick teach for the most part. I would have said it was a 15-minute teach. I reckon the 3 of us, it was probably 2.5 hours. If maybe it's somewhere between 2 and 2.5 hours. For a 3-player worker placement game, that's quite long, but it's really good. And they both really loved it as well. They really, really liked it.
Was it
I laughed because the box says it's a 40 to 80 minute game.
No.
And all 3 of us were like, we're like an hour and a half in now.
Yeah.
And then I realised I reckon it actually means
per person
40 to 80 minutes per player. Yeah, I think it must mean that. Yeah. Because there's no way it's 40 to 80.
Was this a Kickstarter darling originally? Sorry, a crowdfunding darling originally.
Yes, pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure as well. I know it's
and yes, it was Kickstarter.
I think I've seen it in a few places, and it has kind of intrigued me. I've seen it mentioned quite a few times, but there's quite.
I think you'd really like it. I think you and your group would love it. It's very. I think it's very up your street. With you. What's the apiary one that you really got into?
Yeah, apiary. It's just called apiary. It's one of my friends' kind of
because that's
games.
like work. It's like a sort of solid worker placement game, isn't it? With a good sort of. Is it worker placement?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's The good thing about, I guess, the thing about being able to give or to be able to pass ownership on to gaming friends who look at, who can't just drop 50 quid on a game, or also don't have access to kind of like review copies and stuff like that, is that they end up like Apiary. I think Apiary's been to the table probably about a good 8 or 9 times now. So the guys that are playing it are kind of like really, really playing it, and they're really, really kind of getting into how you should play it and stuff like that. So it sounds to me like it's certainly worthwhile. I've seen it's only about £50. I say only £50. I mean, but then in the scheme of things,
but that is, like I want to buy the upgraded pieces because they look really nice. I don't think I drastically need the other 2 things. There's 2 other sort of smaller bits for it, but I think the upgraded pieces would be nice. Yeah. Don't need them. But there's a lot of game in that box. It is beautifully produced. Yeah. I think you'd come out of it very happy.
Oh right, okay. I'm definitely gonna take a look. I'm gonna take a look. That should be kind of interesting. I've been swithering back and forward between a couple of things kind of recently. The main one's Vantage, though.
Have you been playing Vantage solo?
Yes.
So now, I'm getting the impression from now that people are saying it is a solo game. That's it is.
It's a choose your own adventure. Choose your own adventure role playing game.
It's not meant to just be a solo game, correct? It's.
I mean,
it's not specifically designed as a solo game.
It's not, right? Well, I don't know. I think it's. I think it falls into the normal kind of Stonemaier trap, which is the only thing that I always wonder whenever I see a Jamie game hit the market, is how many players is this ideal for, and how many players should I be playing this for, and how many play like like Apiary. You brought up Apiary. That is a definitely. There's no multiplayer, no real kind of multiplayer solitaire there. There's a lot of interactivity with the spaces. You're actively kicking workers off like other spaces, so it kind of works very, very well. Ironically, that's not designed by Jamie. That was Connie Vogelman that designed that one. Vantage is... I think Vantage suffers from the fact that this is not... It's not a multiplayer game. There's no way I could imagine playing this with anyone else. It's not even like... It's like almost like a mixture between a choose your own adventure game, and it is almost kind of RPG light.
Right, yeah.
The premise is really simple. Crash like that, you crash.
But why can't you imagine doing it with somebody else? Is it not, you can't see yourself just going on this fun adventure with somebody else? Like a D&D
But you're not going on a fun adventure with somebody else. You're basically, you're taking 3 or 4 separate paths. You don't all end up in the same place. It's like, I'll give you an example, and I'll share this in a kind of a semi kind of anecdote, right?
So it would be like somebody sitting next to somebody reading a choose your own adventure book. They read their bit to you, you read their bit to them. It's not essentially nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, I mean it's almost a case of this happened at primary school, right? When Steve Jackson's The Crown of Kings came out, And one of our teachers decided, what an excellent way to get the kids reading and things like that. And so they decided, as a classroom exercise, the first thing they did is they says, well, what we'll do is that I'll read the passage, we'll come to the end, and then what we'll do is we'll split up into groups. You go one way, you go the other way. That's how I'll do this. And then what I'll do is I'll circle back round and I'll read everybody's groups. And of course, very, very quickly, what happened is that nobody's having interaction with anyone at all. And what instead happened was they decided to do it through a series of votes. So it was what had the most votes was the direction that you went. Vantage is almost like it's not even like there's a set path. There's so much content that I could sit there and play Vantage probably a good 20, I'm going to say 20 or 30 times, and have a different adventure every single time. Because it's a fascinating system to me, which is why when I see people kind of actively shitting on it, it kind of annoys me slightly, because the things I've seen as well is it's a bit boring, it's not exciting and stuff like that. I think it's the issue that it is it's not honest to itself as what it is. It is quite literally a choose your own adventure game, which has a light spackling of role playing. And let me expand on this very, very slightly. Is that you'll go into an area, you'll have some lovely flavor text, which will, you'll have you'll have very slight flavor text. You'll have a number, which is basically the numbered reference for the area. On the right-hand side of the card, there's various different actions of different colours that you can take when you're in this area. So, for instance, you might be in an area and there might be like a kangaroo-looking animal, kind of in front of you. And you've got options. You could just observe that animal. You could chase it. You could try and interact it. If it looks hurt, you could try and, heal it. There's a tiny bit of flavor text there. And what you do is, based on the coloured action that you decide to take, you will pick up the coloured book, which references the coloured action, flick through to that numbered section, and it'll say, you've decided, yes, you decide to heal the animal because it looks actually it's in distress and a bit of pain. In order for you to do this, you're basically doing a skill check. It'll tell you you've got to have at least 3 heal kind of tokens. And what you do is, during the game, you'll be picking up kind of these kind of tokens that you can then use against kind of skill checks. And the rest of what you roll, the rest of what you have to kind of do, you've got to do almost like a roll check, like they call challenge dice. But it's a D&D skill check. You roll the dice, and then it'll tell you if you either are going to lose morale by where you're doing it, if you're going to lose health by doing it, or if you're not going to lose anything at all. You can then take the dice that you roll and you can add them to your character card table to help you mitigate the results further as well, and help you kind of get boosts and stuff like that. And once you've carried out one action on that Vantage on that card, you've got to go somewhere else. And on the top right-hand side of the card, it tells you the directions that you go into, which is the choose your own adventure. If you decide to go north, go to 271. If you decide to go east, go to 572. And then in order to do that, you've got to do a move action. So you've got to move again, which again means you've got to take almost like a move check in order to move to another place. And that's what you do. That is the game. That is what you're doing. You're never kind of... the difference is you're never kind of coming into real combat. It's not like a fantasy... a fighting fantasy game where you turn the corner and there's a bespeckled orc that wants to fight you. He's got 17 skill and 22 stamina. You take him on. It's not like that. You're continually kind of moving onwards, regardless of if you do succeed, if you do something successfully, or if you fail. But if you ever get your morale, your health down to 0, then basically the adventure ends.
Well, that's what That's what I was going to say. How does it end in what way?
So it's just, then on that thing, you go to another book.
Can you do the old choose your own adventure of keeping your finger in the last page?
Yeah, you can. It's kind of strange. It's kind of like, and I kind of get it, because I guess I must admit I've been playing over the last kind of couple of months. I've been playing on and off. I've been playing kind of like sessions of Outgunned, which is all about... Okay. Outgunned is literally, if you wanted to be doing Indiana Jones roleplay, an RPG based around kind of Indiana Jones.
Have you been playing that?
Yeah.
Oh, I really want to get Outgunned. I wasn't sure what you meant at first. It's the one by Free League, isn't it? Well, it wasn't by Free League at first, but now it's by Free League. It's glorious. Right? It looks fantastic. Like you're rolling. Who have you been doing that with?
Chris from Staying In and Paul.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
I've been playing somebody called Mac in Tosh. That's his name.
Of course
Mac
you have.
In Tosh.
Of course you have.
The tired professor. It's been so good, but that's why it's really funny, because I don't know if that maybe was why I was gentler on Vantage, because I know a lot of people have bounced off it, and I've seen, I saw the reviews of Shut Up and Sit Down, and also No Pun Included and stuff like that, and I'm not entirely in agreement. I'm not entirely in agreement with where they kind of approached it. It was like, you're not really doing anything. You're not really kind of achieving anything. You're just sitting there and having a jolly good adventure. And it's like, yeah, I know, but that's leisure, isn't it? I'm not really sitting and doing anything. I'm not really achieving anything. I mean, I could play Scythe. I could play AN other game.
Yeah, but so my logic with what they're saying, if my understanding is right, they're just saying like, oh, well, you play this game, but you actually don't really play anything. Actually don't really do anything. You just, like you said, you do a choose your own adventure. So then the question is, it's not, stop reviewing it as a board game and review it as a choose your own adventure. And is it a good one or not? That's
what it comes down
to.
That
seems logical to me.
Yeah,
correct?
I mean, it seems like a choose your own adventure, but with elements of role playing in it. So you are constantly doing skill checks.
Yeah, which a lot of choose your own adventures do.
But I think the added benefit,
the advanced.
Yeah, well, the added benefit advantage is like this world is a perpetual world. There's gonna be slightly different ways you can approach it. There's going to be slightly different characters you can play as. You can always make it more difficult, less difficult. Yes, you can do your fingers in the thing, but there's specific kind of extra. There's extra things that are involved in it. There's like sealed packets. There's like secret books and stuff like that. When I put the opening to the review on this, it's like this is like Jamie's kind of boat that he's been doing up in his garage for the last 8 years. And to be honest, I don't really think he gives as much of a damn about it being commercially successful. I think he wants to put it out there, and I think the people that'll get it will really get it. There's slight issues with like the rule book, as always with these things. But this, I mean, I didn't walk away from the times that I've played it and went, well, that was an absolute waste of time. I don't know why I'm doing it. It's like I might as well like when I'm watching. It's like watching an okay movie. You walk away from it. You don't walk away from it and hate it. Oh, I hated that because I lost. It's almost
because
like
it wasn't Oscar
some leisure
winning.
time. I've had a little bit of fun. I rolled some dice.
It was fun.
I went along with a narrative. Yes, I mean, I'm sure that out of the 1,000... the thing about the shut up and sit down, I don't mean to kind of thingy on them, but they highlighted like, well, here's like 6 alien cards which have all got the same text in them, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, you're going to... how
many cards are in that game?
There's several. I mean, there's a good 1,000.
There's thousands. Yeah, exactly, isn't it? So
I mean, it just seemed to be shitting on it for the sake of shitting on it, and I don't mean to be defensive because I am the biggest kind of Stonemeyer shill. Some of my favourite games they're like Scythe. I really like Scythe. So Vantage, I think if you're going into it expecting a game, like a proper adventure kind of like, if you're expecting like something like Oathsworn from it, in kind of card form, I think you would be disappointed. But if you went into it like, this is a lovely hot soup of a game, this is a Sunday afternoon when there's bugger else all on the telly, I'm at a loose end, I've got a couple of hours I can just while away on this, I don't think you would be entirely, you would entirely hate it, to be perfectly honest. But so that's...
It sounds very much like a game that people who are shitting on it have picked it up not truly understanding what it is they were going into, and had they had a better idea of what they were going into, they wouldn't have picked it up.
Yes, it's like they've I mean, it is literally like they're a restaurant reviewer reviewing a food truck, or the other way around. I think I mean and maybe that comes down to the marketing, because
it sounds like somebody who's like who likes reading books.
Yeah.
They don't like horror books. They picked it up because they thought the author or the publisher or whatever, or the spine of the book looked cool, but they didn't take any moment to read the blurb on the back. And had they'd have gone, oh, by the way, this is a horror book. They're going, that's probably not for me.
I'm not going to touch this. Yeah, I'm not. It just seems like a bit of a shitting on them exercise, which I don't entirely agree. I mean, when a game is bad, then okay, that's fine. If a game, I think it's taking stuff into context, and there's so many games that you could play. I mean, I'm going to tie in very quickly that I did get the Duel of Meloch. I'm just going to double check. And Duel of Meloch.
That feels like I'm not like a Stonemaier guy. I don't pay a lot of attention to Stonemaier games. As I'll always try them if the situation occurs. But as a general rule, they don't usually do it for me. Like, I think Scythe's fine.
Yeah.
Etc.
It's okay to be wrong.
That Duel of Meloch one, 100%, absolutely.
Yeah.
That Duel of Meloch one, you sent me the picture saying, "Oh, look what's arrived," and I'm not sure that's the first time I had heard of that, and I didn't truly understand what I was looking at it, because it's sort of something in between Scythe and Expeditions, correct? It's like, it's sort of not for one, but it's not for the other, and it's sort of not a dual version of one, and it's not a dual version of the other, but it sort of is for both.
Yeah, it's literally like, okay, I've got a pile of characters, I've got a pile of Expedition characters, hey, you've got a pile of Scythe characters, let's put them in a situation where they have to interact with each other.
Oh, I see.
And let's see if you're playing your game of Scythe while the other guy's playing the game of Expeditions, who's going to come out on top? Who's going to fulfill their objectives first? Now, because, I mean, Scythe isn't perfect by any means. It's definitely not. It's always been a game that requires at least 3 or 4 players, to even 4 players, to kind of get a good game. Because one of the biggest issues with Scythe is, if you play this at 2 or 3 players, you can quite happily be doing your own thing all the way through the game.
They do their thing.
But if you put in 4 or 5 players, the board all of a sudden becomes an awful lot smaller. People are interacting. There's a bit of a battle going on. Duel of Meloch seems to be like, well, how about if we reduce this down to like 12 spaces? So you have to interact. If you want to get these
Let's
stars...
turn it into a fight in a phone box.
Yeah. You want to interact, you want to get your stars, you want to get your points, you want to go exploring, you want to get this, you have to be in the face of other people. And I kind of like the idea of that. I like the fact that this is it's almost like it's turned into a little duel game, but because I do have all of Expeditions and I do have all the Scythe, I've got like 7 other Scythe characters I can bring on this, and I've got like 5 other kind of Expedition characters I can bring on this, and I could certainly I can sit there and we could have a jolly fine time of it, and and it's not a big box. I was pretty intrigued, and so I thought, that's an easy kind of decision and purchase for me to consider.
Have you played it at all yet, or just
I've messed about with it? I think the only thing is, my only concern is I would not put this, if somebody's been played a lot of Scythe or a lot of Expeditions, I wouldn't put that against a brand new player unless it was like a playing game, a learning game, basically. Yeah. But on the flip side, it's made me look at Expeditions again and say, look, I want to get this back to the table. I forget how much I really, really liked Expeditions as a game. So I'm looking at can I get that back to the table? The other thing it has made me also look at is I got the big storage box for Scythe. Have you like, as far as storage goes, right? Because I see you obviously you've played with like Oathsworn and things like that, and they're generally big boy boxes. Are you the type of gentleman that would go out once he has a certain amount of a certain game, would then go and source a big box solution to collect everything together in that big box?
Potentially. It sort of depends on what it is and how it benefits. Like, I've nearly bought the nesting box or whatever it is for Wingspan.
Yes.
But also I don't play Wingspan enough to justify it. So I'm caught in the position where I don't have any of those games that do that end up with a big box storage thing. But I do have lots of games that need help with storage, i.e. Mythic Battles.
Yeah.
I mean, I've now got 3 full sets of Mythic Battles for obviously Pantheon, Ragnarok and Isfit. Yeah. And I think if you count in units, monsters, heroes, and everything like that, I think there's somewhere in the region, probably now, well over 100. Yeah, it must be in the region of 100 units and heroes and so forth, and monsters and everything across the 3 ranges.
Yeah.
So, that's just... Now, they have storage boxes. They have the storage boxes for the cards and everything, which I didn't like them at first, but actually I've kind of learned to like them. But then you have the miniature side of things, which is a whole different kettle of fish. I think sometimes storage boxes... Well, not necessarily. It's not necessarily the storage box. It's the... Here's everything. Holy shit, look how amazing it is. I think that the Everdell big box killed Everdell for a lot of people. I get that impression. Yeah. The amount of people I've heard people say specifically they got rid of Everdell big box and went back to regular Everdell with a few upgraded components and stuff like that. Because, and I wonder like if the Lost Ruins of Arnak one will do a similar sort of thing. Because yes, you have it all stored in one place, but it's not necessarily stored in a way that makes it accessible.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's like,
I get that.
And that's, I think, the biggest problem with some of these big boxes is that you're often going to play, there'll be somebody new, blah, blah, blah. You're going to just play the base version, maybe with a module here or a module there or something extra. Well, then to find said module, or even just find the basic bits, just suddenly becomes that bit harder, So I think I'm not truly on board with. I think I'm, to be honest, I'm definitely getting to the point where, say, with things like Lost Ruins of Arnak or Everdell, or a lot of these games of like, enough's enough. You're not making your game better. You made a great game, and now you're actually diluting it. Now, I don't think Scythe is actually probably the case, because I think Scythe did some quite cool things. I always got the impression Scythe did actually sort of up its game, and then it added that kind of campaign side of things. So it did some different things rather than just kept trying to add more shit, stuff more shit in the bag. It sort of went, oh no, here's a different way to go about doing this sort of thing.
I think what's interesting with the scythe, and you're right, the scythe component side is that when they're talking about this is what the big box is for, the big box is to hold things like the invaders from afar. So you've got another 2 factions that you can play. You've got the Wind Gambit, which brings in the airships. So that's a big difference. The Wind Gambit is a bigger difference. But the rest of it is to fit in things like the board expansion and the modular components, and also the fact that you can buy realistic metal coins and you can buy realistic metal resin resources. So it's not a case that I'm not opening it up and going, oh, I'm going to have to basically it's almost like I'm not opening up the box and going, I'm now going to have to spend 45 minutes gathering together all the components that I need just to play the base game. It's pretty easy to have that. You can have just a box that's got all the kind of the base cards. And I do. I've got a box that's got, it's almost like regardless of how I'm playing the game, I don't need to take from different boxes. I'm just playing Scythe. Yeah. It's just if I decide to play with the Wind Gambit stuff, I maybe need a couple of more places. I totally see about Everdell because I've looked at that and I've just went, why would you want to play? I know the interaction is like, I really love Everdell and I want to play it again. But then again, I guess it's like, it comes down to that, is that much kind of too much? I mean, because you've got a choice of everything, haven't you? So why would you want to?
But also, like, for instance, like, I've just started going to this board game club on Mondays quite regularly, for the last couple of weeks. If I was a big Everdell fan, I ain't carting that box to a pub to play it. Whereas if I was a big Everdell fan, I probably would take Everdell and Spirecrest or one of the other expansions. That's fine. That's
decide. I mean,
I'm not going to suddenly turn up with something that doesn't fit in a bag.
Yeah, I think there's 2 sides to the big boxes. I think one of them is here's everything that you've got. Then it's all in the one place. Like, I guess the other example that I've got is I got the Ashes big box, the Ashes Reborn big box. And that is basically, here is one place to put all of your cards on all of the card sets that are available, which I've got. And also the latest kind of Red Rains adventures, which you've got, and you're able basically to go to the big box, hoof them out, and take a couple of dice trays, and a component tray, a dice tray, and also like the set of cards that you want to play. And that's what you want to do, and that's all you need. You don't need to hoof the big box about. It's almost a case of here's the stuff that you need, so everything's concentrated in one place. If it came to Scythe, the actual big box is not entirely huge. That's the other thing. I mean, it's probably about maybe double the size of the original Scythe box. So we're not looking at something that you're carting around and you feel like you should be sticking it on a pallet and wrapping it with like cling film to kind of get it anywhere. It's still a reasonable size. It would probably quite easily fit in like one of the game bags quite easily. It's just that you've now kind of got everything. You can put Fenris in there and stuff like that. I mean, they've actually, ironically, one of the things that was levied at the big box solution for Scythe was that you actually could do with an organizer to organize all the pieces, because you only get kind of like 3 big tuck boxes in there, and so it can be pretty difficult to kind of organize everything. So people have done organizers which you can put in the organizer to help you organize what you want to organize. So I mean, yeah, I mean that is just how it is. So there you go.
I still loved it when Gloomhaven came out and loads of people said, like, it's great, it's fucking amazing, but God, it's such a pain in the arse. And basically the only way Gloomhaven became playable was if you bought an £85 broken token wooden insert. Yeah. It's like, jeez, wet. That's when you need an £85 upgrade to play a game.
And also
to make it
adds
playable.
To the weight as well. So there's, I mean, like, let's face it, the Gloomhaven, even the Frosthaven box was a 16 kilogram baby. If you're sticking in, I wouldn't.
But to be fair, those boxes don't look big at all now.
Yeah, I guess compared to what's kind of.
I saw the Gloomhaven box when I was having a big sort out the other day. It's nothing.
Not really anything nowadays, is it?
It's really nowadays. It's nothing.
It's a small.
It's
a small schmeckle.
When you think of like Everdell big box, nesting box, probably even the Scythe box, the 4 Gloom Oathsworn boxes, or Dante's Inferno, which is frigging ridiculous. The Gloomhaven's nothing.
It's a small schmecker of a box.
It really is.
It's a small schmecker of a box.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. No, that's So that's what. Speaking of big boxes, just one thing. I got sent something called the Trials of Maya. Company got in contact. Well, you should be aware of it because
how do you spell Maya?
It's coming to a found of games. It's coming to a game found near you over the next couple of months, I reckon.
How do you spell Maya?
Maya. It's definitely on Game Found.
Oh yes, I've seen this. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd actually paid attention to what it was called.
No, but I'm gonna call it out very quickly, but not in a negative kind of way. But you know how it's almost like you people, you've got far too much time on your hands. I'm gonna call him out right now. Zane from Zane basically from Enter Maya, and Hamza. They sent me this big box, right? And you know how it's like, well, I'm dressing to impress, and you know how to turn a boy's head. So you open up the box. I'm going to open this up. I'll just like see if you. And this is great podcasting. This is why we need to do video, not just so everybody can see Luke's shoulders. Right, so you open up the box. I'm not going to show you the box, right? So you open up the box and there's a letter in here, right? And you're like, okay, letter.
Yeah.
Wax seal. Hello. Right?
Nice. Classy.
Okay, it gets better than this. Right? Here's the book we wrote.
That's not a little pamphlet of a book either, is it?
That's an advanced reader. Somebody's like been spending.
It's a proper big hardback.
This is Anil Seth, the neuroscientist and author of Being You. Right? Okay. The video, they've got a video. It's narrated by Hugo Weaving, or you might know him. You might know him better as Elrond.
Oh, Elrond.
Or Agent Smith from The Matrix.
Miss Smith.
Or
jeez,
yeah, or yeah, and then so I was like, well, that's enough. You're turning my head now. It's like it's like a conflict based kind of miniatures game. I've not.
It looks really cool.
I've not.
It looks like it's one of my sort of games for sure. Really combat. And,
I've not.
Definitely up my alley.
I looked in it. I thought this is something new, and I'm.
Is it a full production review copy?
It's a full product. Well, it's a preview copy.
Nice.
Preview copy. So I'm going to muck about with it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to muck about with it. But it's just like when I think of the amount of money that these people must have spent.
Yeah, this is a lot of pre-investment, isn't it?
A lot of money. The amount of money that these people have spent to kind of get this to where it is just. Absolutely crazy. I mean, I'm guessing that this is one of these people. It's like this is do or die. You know, it's all about the story. It's about creating like they're in for creating a brand and creating an actual kind of place. You know, an entire kind of, I guess, adventure sphere. If you want to kind of look at it, that way, which is kind of interesting. What are you looking at getting to the table? You saying Mondays, you're going to Monday gaming nights now, which intrigues me, which means you must be looking at...
Yeah, that's where I played New Angeles the last couple of times and really enjoyed.
You never talked about New Angeles. Do you want to touch on New Angeles?
Because you don't. I'll have a quick chat about New Angeles. So, New Angeles, cracking game that kind of massively fell under the radar. It came out from Fantasy Flight, set in the Android, Netrunner world, which is a fantastic. The Fantasy Flight Netrunner world, Android world, is brilliant. They've done it so goddamn well. So in New Angeles, you play the various corporations that are set within the Android world, which is like Weyland-Yutani, the big money people, Genteki, which are the sort of genetic, med, big pharma kind of, research stuff. Then you got like MBN, which is the news network and media machine. Then Hasbiroid, which is makes the androids and biological engineering and stuff like that. So you all play one of the various corporations, and aim of the game is to basically you play 3 rounds of production, and the city will be demanding a bunch of various resources. There'll be at each round you'll have a sort of target that you've got to get to for entertainment, credits, energy, consumables, and stuff like that. So, and then the board is set out of various districts of New Angeles, all which do various things, produce various things. And you need to keep the Android workforce producing things in those areas by the end of each sort of the 3 things, once you get to production phases, to have produced enough to keep the unrest down and everybody happy. Now, the aim of the game is that you're kind of all doing that semi-co-op. So as the Hasbiro player, everybody is then dealt out a card which could be either which will be made up of all of the corporations that are within the game and one federalist. So I'm the Hasbro player, I might get MBN, right? And that secret objective is that I need to basically finish above the MBN player for capital. So I need to end up with more capital at the end of the game than MBN. Then, there'll be various of these objectives hidden across the table. You might get your own company. So MBN might have their, Weyland-Yutani might have their own company card in front of them. And that basically means, depending on the player count, you need to be ahead of a certain amount of players. So no one specific, but just at least be in the sort of top 3 or whatever it is. Then there's the Federalist. Now, the Federalist is essentially the company that wants to get the unrest up, basically make it so that the federal government comes in and says, enough of this shit, we're taking over, you guys can't be trusted to run this place. So they sort of want to watch the world burn enough to get the government in and deal with stuff. So on the board, like I said, you've got all these various locations, and on those locations you might have the humans first people, you might have the organized crime, or you might have the security troops, and then you'll have a certain amount of Android tokens, which basically means every time you go to a production phase, where the Android tokens are within the board will produce whatever production there is for that thing. Throughout the game, each turn you'll get a certain amount of asset cards. So each round, you might have somewhere between 3 and 5 asset cards that will be available. And that's essentially a timer. Asset card goes down in the middle, and then either side of it, there'll be a box that says offer and counter offer, or main offer and counter offer. So starting as whoever the first player is, they will put down one of their cards as a main offer, and all of their cards will, you get a variety of cards that are like labor, construction, genetics, media, blah, 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 all the kind of various aspects of what a company might specialize in. So say me being Hasbro, I might have a card that's like, I can't remember what it was called, but it will have name but it will say like move up to 3 Android units to new places in the board. So I put that down and I say, right, that's what's going to happen. Then starting from my left and going round, somebody could put in a counter offer. So say it gets around to the second player, they go, yeah, I'll put in a counter offer, and they'll go, boom. I reckon we should reduce, we should do this, and we reduce unrest in 3 locations, blah, 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 blah. Unrest is something that would stop production and stuff like that. It would lower the amount of production. So then somebody else might put in a counter offer, and if you put in a counter offer after somebody else, you have to buff it with extra cards and stuff like that. But so it gets back round to you. You've got what the main offer is, what the counter offer is, and then there's an asset in the middle, and the asset is usually a person, like a cool character within the Android Netrunner universe, and that's basically just a new special power that you have, and could do all sorts of things. So then that's it. Negotiation begins. So basically, the other players who aren't the person putting in the main offer or the person putting the counter offer can add their support, so they can discard cards onto whichever side they want to go through.
Oh, wow, okay.
And negotiation is as open as negotiation gets. So in the game, you have cards in your hand, which, like I said, are action cards, but then also cards to support actions. You get the assets that are in front of you. You've got capital, which is kind of your kind of company wealth. You've got future things. You've got special abilities that you might be getting from your assets, or your ongoing thing, like being a Haspire or a player. You would actually get, every time an android is moved, you would get 2 capital. So you could start saying, so I could turn to the first player who's not got a skin in the game, as it were, and say, right, I tell you what, the next 2 times that my special goes off for moving androids, I'll give you the 2 capital from it. Or the next 3 times I'll split the capital with you. I'll take 1, you take 1. Or I might say, right, you put in 3 cards to support, and I'll give you 3 cards that I've still got in my hand. So you won't lose anything, but you get me the support, you get the cards, blah, blah, blah. Or, from the asset, I'm going to get 2 capital. I'll give you 1 of that capital, or I'll give you a capital now. Or I just want the thing to happen. I don't care about the asset. I'll let you have the asset. So you're just all negotiating. Now, negotiation, for the most part, is binding in the sense that if you can do it now, you do it. There's no go. But if it's like I said, if you say, well, I'll tell you what, when it gets to your turn, you want your action, I'll give you 3 support without question. You give me 3 now, I'll give you 3 later. Or when my special goes off, whenever it goes off in the next few turns or whatever, I'll give you the result of it. That's not binding. That you could backtrack on it. You're obviously going to piss people off, but so if you don't manage to achieve the things, then unrest goes up. Events happen after each session and stuff like that, which causes unrest, and basically there's the capital track, which you essentially usually want to get over 25 or be at least highest on, and then the unrest track, if that ever hits 25, everybody loses except the Federalist if they've also got to 25 capital. So the Federalist wants to keep themselves very secret. For the most part, the other people, they're just trying to beat somebody on the board. It doesn't particularly matter who they're trying to beat, and eventually you might start to, as the negotiations go on and the game goes on, you start to think, oh, okay, yeah, I can see why he doesn't want me to get this through, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't actually care about the other thing happening, but he does care about mine happening because he's obviously got my card. He's trying to make sure I don't get a little extra out of this sort of thing. But the Federalist has to stay quite quiet. They have to stay quite neutral and just kind of let the game keep happening, get in the negotiation, make sure it's happening. Look like you're all just about best interest, and then start to let things slip or, come down, because the unrest will happen regardless, but then you could start to try and push power plays where you could try and justify it for something else. You might want to justify it for whatever you're trying to say. Actually, you want to justify it because it's going to cause a little bit of unrest and a little bit here and there. You want to keep getting a little bit of unrest. Go, well, it's only 2 unrest. We'll be all right. It's okay. It's early days still. We're only at 6 unrest. No, 2 ain't going to be right. And before you know it.
I can imagine people hating this.
And I won the last game as the Federalist. This game is so group specific.
Yeah.
It's unreal. And I'll be honest. So obviously, like I said, I've been playing at this board game club for the last 2 Mondays where we've played this game. And my old mate Steve, that I've known for a while via my mate's dad's war game group that he's been running for years, I know him via that. I sort of messaged, and I always used to keep forgetting that this board game group was happening. I'd always remember on Tuesday when somebody put a Facebook post up and go, for fuck's sake.
Missed again.
And for whatever reason, a couple of weeks ago, I remembered that it was happening. And I think it was because I hadn't been able to get a lot of games in with my mates. So I just thought, oh God, I really need to play a game. And I thought, I know, Monday thing, blah, blah, blah. So I messaged my mate Steve and said, you still going to this thing on Mondays? And he's like, yeah, go tonight, playing New Angeles. And I was like, fucking hell. Love a bit of New Angeles. I'll get on that if there's a spot. So the first game, 4 of us, it needs to be 4 or more.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting the impression. Question. It's like,
it'd be, I think, fundamentally pointless at 3. You just bully somebody out of it for the most part, I think. Or you'd have to have 3 really good players. Really good.
That makes me wonder why it didn't do that well, or it didn't get above the parapet, because it sounds to me like it's very, very groups of specific what you've said so far. It also sounds like normally in games of negotiation, the set rules of negotiation are very, very specific and very, very strict in how, you're allowed to say this, you're allowed to offer this, you're not allowed to offer this, you can only offer 5 of this. But if you say it's open, if somebody's not in that negotiating mindset,
or just not,
they're just going to, they're going to find it frustrating.
Or just socially awkward, as so many gamers are. And that's why I was a little worried, at first, because I know Steve really well. I was like, Steve would be good for this game. But obviously I didn't know. I think he said that he was pretty confident there was one guy who was definitely going to play. Yeah. So sat there with a really nice guy, Dan, I think it was, and Tom, and the first game. And we had an absolute blast, like real blast. I kind of, when I know a game's going to be like that, I will let my extrovert really loose. And I did stuff at the beginning of the game that was probably not, it's not in a gaming sense, it wasn't optimal, but I just wanted to get the ball rolling and get the flow and get people like, okay, cool. This is the sort of stuff we could do. And I would fuck a little bit with my mate Steve because I knew he'd be all right with it. And he knows that, he would give me a little bit of banter back, and we were having a bit of back and forth, which completely started to clearly relax the other 2 players. And we really got into it. We had a fucking cracking game, and then played again this last Monday. And actually, this is a little bit of a testament to actually how robust this game was. Now, so, it was a bit of a show because I don't think actually either of the guys were there that week that already played. So, me and Steve were just like, well, we'll see who fancies playing. And a few people came along and they were like, yeah, cool. Yeah, sounds good. I'll jump in. A couple of guys seemed really nice. And then one guy, again, seemed perfectly nice, but very, very quiet. And I thought, okay, you're going to be hard work for this. And then he proceeded to sit entirely looking at his phone the entire time. I was sitting next to him and I could see he wasn't it's not like he was messaging people or dealing with anything. He was literally scrolling mini websites and just looking at miniatures and stuff like that. So and it was constantly just like, and even if it's not your turn, you're always like, are you putting in an offer? You're just constantly in on it. And he was it was just constant like what? And he'd look up. Oh, no, I won't do a counter offer. And back to his phone.
No.
And I was like,
Go home.
Fuck this guy. Well, then at 9:00, he literally just stands up with, well, got to get to work early tomorrow. So yeah, I'm done, guys. And boom, gone. And I was a bit like, the fuck? Not really. I was like, I mean, in one sense, I was just like, okay, I'm not sure that hasn't entirely fucked the game up.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, I was like, but okay, cool, good. Off you chop, right?
Thanks for playing.
So we were just like, yeah, okay, cool, fine. Right. So off he jumped, and we just carried on. And you know what? It didn't alter the game at all.
That's mad.
But now, one, it didn't affect the dynamic because he wasn't fucking part of the dynamic. But luckily the game it's not like we got to the end of the game and we sort of went, oh yeah, but if he'd stayed and actually been part of it, or if he'd been part of it the whole way through, then this
would have been class. This would have been amazing. What have we missed out on?
We all just at the end of the game went, it would have been nice if you could told us that he had a hard out at 9, before we started the game. Because it's not a short game.
No, it's not. It's not.
So it's a bit of a longer one. And, Steve's had to teach it twice each time we played it. So, but yeah, cracking game. Just such a game. But it's got to be a game. It's got to be a group of people that know each other, like each other, know how to really get under each other's skin and push each other's buttons.
I'm seeing, but it's probably an absolute fortune to get now, isn't it? I mean, it's probably really, really difficult to get home.
I don't think so. I doubt it. I reckon if you put on one of the board game groups, anybody got a copy of New Angeles they want to sell for 25 quid, somebody would be like, God, that's been sat on my fucking shelf for ages. Yeah, all right, I'll take 25 quid for it. Yeah,
I suppose.
Because I bet it's sat on a lot of shelves collecting dust.
It just it needs that, right? See, because I can think off the top of my head, this is the type of game that my friend Andy would be all over. He is Andy, Isaac, Paul, other Andrew, because they're all kind of like, they're all into the bidding. Leo, they'd all like a bit of bidding, a little bit of banter, back and forward, that kind of back to that manipulate kind of game, where it was above the table. When we played Ponzi Scheme, last time I played Ponzi Scheme with them.
It's all above the table, New Angeles. It really is one of the epitomes of that thing I say so often, about how liking a game above the table. And yeah, I was just really pleasantly surprised that I've played 2 games of it in 2 weeks with not knowing 50% of the people at the table. And for the most part, it hit home, Again, the other 2, the guy who didn't just suddenly bugger off, the other 2 in that game, both at the end of it were like, that was freaking awesome. That was really cool. Really enjoyed it. So that was great, and I think I was probably quite lucky.
Yeah.
Because it definitely could fall flat for a lot. Definitely. But, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to keep going to this Monday game night as regularly as I can.
Yeah. That's good to kind of...
Monday's actually quite a good night for me,
Well, that's cool. No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, speaking of good time with good company, I really am hitting these segues.
These stupendous
Just
segues.
Hard, but I mean, I don't think it particularly works if halfway through saying the segue, you then say, "Oh, I'm hitting these segues really hard." But speaking of spending good time with fantastic people, I just want to jump in quickly and say I guested on the Staying In podcast, and I wasn't horrendous.
Did it? Why? I haven't listened to that podcast yet. Then
no, you have.
I think I might be a few back on those actually. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon I must be 2 or 3 behind because I've hardly listened to any podcasts actually.
Well, I've been out walking the dog, so I've been doing this thing where.
Oh, it only came out 1 day ago. That's why I didn't know about it. Right.
It's interesting. I don't actually talk
God, you know what?
What?
Bloody hell, I'm...
What? Yeah.
A long
Are
way
you?
off.
Oh, my goodness.
I haven't...
Okay.
I'm like 8
Oh, well,
off.
okay. Well, that's just I might have to edit this out so you're less embarrassed about your ability to listen to your friends' podcasts or good acquaintances. It was just delight. I had a
8. I am 8.
A delightful time. It was me, it was Sam, and it was Dan. And we spoke about...
I shall listen.
And we spoke about... We spoke about Captain's Chair. We spoke about shrinking. Well, I spoke about shrinking on Apple TV. And then I spoke about third and fourth party Transformers. Because, because I don't want to take up the bandwidth here. We'll never get away. I mean, that's the thing. That's how it goes. It's really incredibly good fun, and I'd advise you to kind of go and check it out. Check out all the other ones except mine, because you'll get a good idea of how they cut the jib. I think that's the thing. The cut of their jib. I don't know what that saying is. I don't even know why I'm saying it.
I shall listen to it walking the dog.
Anyway, is there anything else you're looking to get to the table? Anything that's exciting and arrived that you're looking at?
We're going camping next week, so we're taking a whole bunch of games that we all like. We've got like a little exit game in there, and could try and introduce the family to a few more little ones. So I'm going to try them with Love Letter.
Oh, because they're at that age. That's a good age, because they're both at that age.
Yeah, Eden's at the age where I think she can get away with doing a lie here and there, and I think she'll quite like it. I think it just takes those first few plays of it to understand what each of the characters does. And then I think we're
it's
away.
A cracking game. I always forget about Love Letter.
Strike will be 100% going with us, because my wife defies all physics, statistics, mathematics, and everything when she plays Strike. It is quite ridiculous, I think we played a game of Strike the other day. The way the table sits, it's Eden sitting opposite me, Elliot next to Eden, Elliot opposite Sarah, Sarah next to me. So if Eden starts in a game, Eden, Elliot, Sarah, me. Now, started a game of Strike, Eden started, got what she got, whatever. Elliot got what she got, whatever. Got what he got, whatever. Sarah rolls in, empties, gets everything out. So I've got a first roll everything in. First roll, I rolled 1 to 6.
Wonderful.
Or or it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 crosses. So I was instantly out of my first one. The amount of times Sarah's done things like that to me in Strike is horrific.
That's why you got to watch.
And the amount of times she's won Strike is just because now I do say there is a skill to Strike. There is tactics in Strike. Like Eden, I think when we first started playing it, Eden said to me, "It's like, why do you hit the dice with the other? When you roll a dice in, why do you hit the other dice?" And I said, "Well, because those dice are sat there. If I roll mine in, then it'll only ever match with one of them.
Yeah.
If I roll my dice in and it rolls it hits those 3 dice in there, 3 of them might turn up at the same time."
Exactly.
So that was always my logic, So there's definitely is some elements of tactics to Strike. There's a way you roll it as well. Do you rim it and get it to go around it?
Sam Turner, Mr. Sam Turner, aforementioned Sam Turner. He had his technique. He was down to his it was almost the chef kiss of rolls, because he was like that. And he did so well. He did kind of amazing.
I like to rim them. I like to be able to round the arena and just
I do like this.
But that does often go horribly wrong.
No,
Strike's great. So yes, take a Strike, take a Love Letter. We've got an exit game that taking. What else is there? Some of the other ones. Oh, Kabuto Sumo.
Such a good game.
Flip 7.
Again, very, very good.
There's a few others. I'm just trying to remember now.
Tag team.
Yeah, there's definitely some other ones. Oh yes, oh yeah. In the car, in the van. Also, I've already got a bunch of 2 players like compiled tag team that are just more for me and Elliot, obviously.
No, good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Whole bunch of fun stuff. Yeah,
I've got like quite a few. I mean, I got Queen of Spies arrived, which is a solo player. Yeah.
Is that from Salt and Pepper?
I think, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Gonzalo from Salt and Pepper is a lovely bugger.
Liz Davidson's
one of my favourite people in the industry.
Kind of design.
Oh, is it a Liz Davidson one? Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. They also did Night Witches as well. Night Witches is coming out kind of later in the year, which again it sounds like a cracking game. Hunt for Blackbeard's kind of sitting there waiting to kind of find its way to the table. There's going to be obviously Duel of Meloch, which I've mentioned already, and I have to do. I've kind of been learning Mad Kala, which is Druid City Games, which is an interesting kind of... I'm never too hot on their games. I don't know what it is. I think... I always thought their games had amazing production values, but there wasn't an awful lot of meat on the bones for them. But a couple of the later ones, Mad Kala and Mad Kala seems to be quite nice. But the big one, I've obviously got that huge Trials of Maya to go through. But Yonder, Hack and Gardener's kind of follow on. It seems like a decent kind of worker placement type, fantasy based, fill some boats, fulfill some orders. And obviously, I just like to get this out because the Others rulebook is probably one of the most beautiful looking artistic rulebooks that's there. And it's still sitting there. This is in mint condition. I'm expecting I could probably take this to Antiques Roadshow and they would say, yeah, it's worth about, 1 pence per ton. But there we go. It's all fine.
One of the ones that I still really want to get Container to the table.
Polyhedron Collider, we're talking about that Container recently. It seems to be the new smaller version. Really sounds like it's very, very interesting.
Yeah,
very, very interesting indeed. Yeah,
can't think what else. Well, we weren't trying to get some bloody Iridia played, but we'll hopefully get back to it soon. But I know I'm away on this week, and then I know one of the other guys is away. It's going to be 2 weeks camping
September.
in France.
September.
So it's going to be September before we get it.
I think Expeditions has to get back to the table. We were speaking about that the other day, and just at the group. And I've got the new Corruption one. So the Corruption one is, as usual, it's an expansion that is released by Stonemaier to try and kind of help put a little band-aid over some of the stuff that maybe hit the table that wasn't great. And one of the things I think Expeditions was like, yeah, it's all good and stuff like that, but we really could be, is there any way to have like a protagonist that is actively trying to thwart everybody's plans? Because again, it's such a big game space that if you've got less than like 2 or 3 players, it kind of, you end up kind of like, I'm just going to do my own thing and then I'm going to win. Everything's going to be fine. I think Corruption introduces an actual corrupt mech that goes about the table kind of messing up with everybody else. So that'll be kind of interesting. But yeah, so a lot to go on. We have just been sent an email about the Tyneside Games Expo at the 17th, the 17th to 18th of October. We've just been sent a cracking little email. We can get some. This is I don't know. I'm potentially tempted by that, depending when it's going to be on.
It's not too far from you, Tyneside.
It's Newcastle, so it's only about 2 hours away. Two and a half hours, isn't it?
Quite the opposite.
It's not that bad. Yeah. I'm tempted to consider something like that. Apart from that, next big one's Tabletop Scotland. It's about a month away. Very excited indeed. So there we go. But I think that'll do with you sitting there with your little sun-kissed arms and face and chest.
I've got filmed another.
Yes.
Vlog. I filmed one with Elliot, so it's. I just need to get it edited. There was a bit of a gap in between because kid was ill and it was just too. I was just busy. So
I'm gonna say if you're looking,
but our day out in Nottingham.
If you're looking for something lovely and wonderful to go and watch and fancy the kind of the vlog stuff, then go and check out Standard Tabletop, because Luke has been recording just some lovely walks with some walks, some thoughts, some ponderings, and some chef, which is always wonderful. And obviously, if you've listened along tonight and you like what you listen to, jump onto your podcast catcher of choice and give us a rating or a review. It's been a while since we've had a review, so, go on there, give us a rating or review. That would be wonderful.
Yeah. As many stars as possible.
12, 13, 14 stars.
Or just whatever amount it lets you click.
Yes, or 5. Yeah. I mean,
to that point. If it only goes up to 5, but
only goes up to 5, yeah.
It's only so much
give us 1 star.
It's out of our hands. Yeah, it's out
That's
of our hands.
Don't give us 5 stars because it makes us big-headed, but don't give us 1 star because it'll make us cry. Basically. I used to say 10 stars. Give us something in the middle of 5 because it's average and we're distinctly average. That's what I used to say. It's like muscle memory. It just kind of like rolls off the brain. It's like if I'm going to be in the old folks' home and I'm literally talking about somebody's going to say, oh, look, there's about 5 stars on this Christmas tree. Don't give us 5 stars. And I'll be off wittering as it is. If you like to check out the previous podcast episodes, go to we'renotwizards.com. If you want to check out other things that we do, including the written reviews and all the other things that we're involved in, then go to we'renotwizards.co.uk. Obviously, remember, we're many things, but we're not wizards. But it's time to say goodbye. So it's a goodbye from him.
Tatty bye-byes from him.
Remember, stay safe, roll 6s, make something awful, and
stay spicy.
Don't forget to wear your sunscreen. Unless you want to be glowing like this one.
I think I need after
glowing. Look at him, he's glowing. Glowing!
Need some bloody coconut milk on this.
Tell you what, I know what I'm going to do now. Until the next time, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
A wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.